One of the things when you're reconstructing a bicycle accident that's different than most motor vehicle collisions is that the bike acts kinetically different than, say, a motorcycle or a car. In a car you have 4,000 pound mass. Motorcycle you have a large mass sitting under the rider. In reconstructing bike accidents, the rider is the mass. So your kinetics are entirely different. So when I look at things like throw distances and speed of impact and force of impacts, the engineering kinetics is changed because the mass of the rider controls the movement of the cycle, not the other way around. If you're involved in a motorcycle accident, for example, and a car, let's say, hits a motorcycle, you have two entities with relatively high mass. You have a car hit a bicycle, for example, you're looking at an 18 pound, 22 pound cycle. And what happens is your throw distances and your kinetics change appreciably. So the bottom line is that the mass of the car will dictate all your engineering equations. And if you look at all the peer-reviewed engineering kinetics for these kind of accidents, it's really the force of impact of the car which determines the trajectories and the throw distances. So you have to be very careful there. I've seen many engineers, good engineers, who have neglected to look at that issue. The second thing is, it's really very valuable to have somebody who's reconstructing bike accidents that's the cyclists themselves. Because oftentimes, unless you've been out there for years and understand how the movement of the cycle occurs from normal riding, you don't have a clue when you're trying to set up the actual sequence of events. What you think a cyclist might do, if you're bringing to it the same reconstruction scenario that you would if you're using a motor vehicle, may not be at all what he's going to do. Because remember, a bike is a single track vehicle. It does not have four wheels, it has two. So it moves different, the radius of curvature is different, the reaction times are different, and the stopping distances are different. For example, in stopping, a bike is limited by a deceleration rate of 0.5 Gs. Above 0.5 Gs, the cyclist will tend to rotate off the front of the bike. A car can stop at 0.7 Gs. So a car has a much greater stopping capability than a bike does. Those are the kind of things that have to be taken into considering an accident and how to reconstruct it. It's not as simple as it may sound on the face of it. A lot of people consider a bike a toy. It's not a toy. It's a fairly complex entity which has to be modeled just like any other moving mass.